funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland with the television licence fee.
The charity shop sector began in earnest in Ireland during the 1980s, and since then charity shops have sprung up all over the country. Reputable charity shops not just help to fund essential services in countless communities, but they also have huge environmental and social benefits. Now, to find out more, I talk with a charity shop enthusiast outside the St Vincent de Paul run Vincents Charity Shop in Athlone in County Westmeath. And here she is to introduce herself.
This is Cara Kingston. We're beside Vincent's, a charity shop which I've just come out of, having bought a few things. What I love about charity shops, you can buy something that someone else has used and loved and will have a new life in your house and have maybe a new purpose, a new function. That's something that you can, after you've used it, pass it on again. And it reduces production, we reduce pollution, and it means that something has a more eternal life than would have done if when you finished with it you put it in the bin.
That's a nice way of putting it, eternal life, and kind of, there's a bigger picture, in other words.
There is a bigger picture, and you just feel good giving something a new life.
And I'd say as well, and let's be honest, there's a bargain as well. You go into shops
Absolutely.
Such as this, you're going to be getting value for money, and that's part of the equation as well.
Absolutely, a real bargain. I've just bought 2 books in there by an author I love, and I got them for €1 each rather than the 12 or 13 euros they would have cost in a bookshop. And it's money that's going to charity and is being used for a good cause, helping people in need in this time when there are more and more people on the breadline or even under the breadline. So it's good to be helping out in that way.
The charity shops are really important.
These shops are important. I really think they're important.
For people that are not on big wage and everything else, it's vital. These shops are vital for people.
It's not just retail, it's not just take the money, it's also help people that just haven't got it.
Charity shops not only benefit people's pockets, but as Cara Kingston touched on, they also help to keep items in use for longer, thus promoting the ethic of reduce, reuse and recycle. Charity shop enthusiast Linda.
We're beside the Simon Community second-hand shop on Camden Street.
Right, and Linda, what do you like about shops such as this? The Simon Shop, charity shop on Camden Street here in the heart of Dublin City.
Well, there's a few different things. One is that you never know what you're going to find in these shops. The second is that when it comes to clothing, it seems silly to be buying brand new clothes in this day and age when the quality in the second-hand shops is so good. And obviously we're all thinking about being more ecologically minded.
And here's more people to share their opinion about charity shops.
It's brilliant for the community, it's brilliant for sustainability, and it's great for like a find that you wouldn't really think you're looking for, but then you find something brilliant here and it becomes a part of your life.
Pick up some bargains and that, you never know what's in there.
I like the originality of finding that one piece that you can't find in any shop. But also you're recycling, it's you're giving back, all that, ticks the boxes if you like.
It really is, it's giving back to the community. It's sharing the love.
The bulk of charity shops in Ireland belong to the Irish Charity Shop Association, or ICSA, which promotes best practice in the sector. Now, to this end, all charity shop members of the ICSA aim towards the 3 Ps or triple bottom line of people, planet and profits. June Tinsley, Head of Communications and Advocacy with the National Council for the Blind of Ireland, otherwise called NCBI. By the way, NCBI operates over 130 charity shops across the country.
This is the ICSA's intention that all charity shops attain the triple P standard, and it means that the triple P stands for people, planet and profits. And it basically implies that the profits of the stores would go back into the cause of the charity that we're championing. In our case, it's for people with sight loss. That all the donations that we receive and all the practices that we pursue would be in the interest of sustainability and protect the planet. And then in connection with the people, it means around our staff. And we operate on a model where we have a paid store manager, but then the rest are based on volunteers and CE staff and 2 staff. And we're very fortunate, we've got over 800 volunteers right across the country.
And I'll be talking with some NCBI charity shop volunteers later in this documentary. But for the moment, what's clear from prior commentary is that charity shops really benefit people and the planet. Now in this documentary we intend to discover just how much.
There's a vast variety of charity shops that help, different things like from animals to the homeless to different causes. So it's brilliant that you get to get something for yourself but also give back to those in need.
Everything is good about a charity shop.
Charity shops, they just benefit everybody.
Everybody is gaining by this, and then the money then does go to a very good cause.
Whether it's Oxfam or Simon or the Cancer Care, any of them, all providing a good service.
And to begin our investigation into the world of charity shops, I visited the Irish Wheelchair Association shop in Enniscorthy in County Wexford.
My name is Martina Freeman and I run the Irish Wheelchair Charity Shop in Enniscorthy in County Wexford.
What's it all about, the shop here, Martina?
We're mostly about raising funds to provide services for the Irish Wheelchair Association.
So what exactly does the Irish Wheelchair Association charity shop in Enniscorthy sell?
We sell everything. As they say, from an eel to an anchor, if it's not nailed to the floor, we'll sell it.
Watch out.
Yeah, we sell clothes, bric-a-brac, books, CDs, DVDs, anything in resaleable condition we will accept and sell it. Apart from furniture, we don't have the space.
So just who buys in the shop?
Absolutely everybody. From business people up to town who want to do up their windows, maybe put a display in, to the ordinary person coming in looking for a bargain, who has a couple of kids. Just everybody. Absolutely everybody comes in now. There's no stigma attached to charity shops anymore. People are kind of proud now to say, when somebody compliments them on a dress, they're kind of proud to say, I bought that in the charity shop and I also supported the charity.
And here is Margaret Hyland to talk about what's on sale in the St Vincent de Paul run Vincents Charity Shop on Sean McDermott Street in Dublin's North Inner City.
It's like from a needle to an anchor, like you can nearly get everything here. Genuine, there's everything. There's plates, cups, pots, pans, fishing rods, clothes, shoes, slippers, you name it, you can need CDs, books, it could go on forever and ever,
We get a lot of women's wear donated and that's our biggest seller. And then within that we've got different categories.
Orla McCarthy, the manager of the Oxfam charity shop situated on Cook Street in Cork City.
So you've got like a vintage section which is really popular with kind of younger students and probably more environmentally conscious people who also like to look stylish and want something quite quirky or maybe unusual. And then we've got a kind of a more mainstream section of women's wear clothing that would kind of suit your average lady that comes in shopping in here. We try to cater for different sizes, so we have a plus size section, which is also really popular.
When it comes to charity shops, the world's your oyster, with different charity shops specialising in certain things, whether it be furniture, vintage clothing, books or whatever. Charity shop enthusiast Robin, talking about certain speciality charity shops in Dublin.
I think there's different locations have different specialities. Like, for example, there's a couple in town that do amazing homeware bits. Like, they'll do large furnitures at cheap prices and, bits of homeware for cheap prices. And then there's certain places that do clothes and shoes for cheaper, but they also have better finds in them. So I think, it's just about doing a bit of research and seeing which places have the best items.
We have something for everybody, and that's the beauty of charity shops.
You can find anything from bits of porcelain, books, clothing, just anything.
You get the best of stuff. You can get some good bargains.
They do have the best of stuff.
Actually, the selection is wonderful.
And as touched on already in this programme, charity shops help the planet by promoting a slow fashion model of reusing and recycling clothes, thus keeping resources in use for as long as possible. This is the opposite of cheap, mass-produced, fast fashion clothing, which encourages consumers to endlessly buy. Now, in this regard, I had this question to ask Dermot McGilloway, National Retail Development Manager for the Society of the St Vincent de Paul.
How do charity shops such as St Vincent de Paul shops throughout the country help the planet? Because there's this very, very important angle to the work that goes on.
Well, that's a real hot topic at the moment, and what I would say about our shops is we tackle the twin problem of poverty and deprivation on the one hand and the excessive consumption of fast fashion on the other. As an organisation, we would receive approximately 14,000 tonnes of donated textiles every year, and we're seated at the moment at the back of one of our order fulfilment centres. We have opened up a network of order fulfilment centres, this being one of them, and it's like a double filter system we've introduced. So when a bag of clothes is left into one of our local shops, the local manager will go through that bag. They will try to extract any value that they can for sale locally. They will put some items aside for emergency assistance. They'll put some items aside for the local SVP conference to send people down if they need access to clothing. In the bad old days, those surplus clothes were just sold off to recycling companies. In the good times now, we have 7 order fulfilment centres around the island of Ireland, and those surplus garments come in and we go through a second filter process. And what we now endeavour to do is we try to take those products and replenish sold stock in other locations around the region here. So this particular order fulfilment centre services 44 shops in Dublin, Wicklow and Kildare. And about 2 or 3 years ago we introduced EPOS, electronic point of sale, to actually track the products that are selling in local communities and replenish them. Now, back to your original question, what are we doing in terms of saving the planet? The fashion industry is the 4th biggest polluter on the planet. We estimate that there's 100 billion garments produced globally a year, and 70% of them are either incinerated or end up in landfill. And a couple of extra kind of frightening statistics for you. Synthetic non-biodegradable fibres like polyester are now in 72% of the clothing that's actually produced. 70 million barrels of oil are used in the production of those polyesters, and it can take a polyester t-shirt 200 years to decompose in landfill. So I suppose the planet has been lurching along with this linear economy of take, make and throw away, and the average EU citizen consumes 26 kilograms of textiles a year, and as I say, 30% of them are never even worn. We buy them, we don't use them, and we just kind of throw them away. So the society has long been committed to the circular economy of reduce, reuse and recycle, and we really are genuinely committed to it. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep stuff in circulation for as long as is physically possible.
Oxfam Ireland shops are a vital cog in the circular economy. What we do is we extend the life of products. We extend the life of clothes that are donated to us, otherwise they would end up in landfill. That's what we do as part of the circular economy.
How important is that to our modern world?
Well, as we all know, climate change is the biggest threat to the planet at the moment, and particularly for Oxfam because it's the people on the ground, the poorest people on the planet are the ones that have caused the least damage, and they're the ones that are going to suffer the most. So we all have to do our bit to reduce climate change.
Trevor Anderson, Director of Trading for Oxfam Ireland. Here's Orla McCarthy, Manager of the Oxfam Charity Shop on Cook Street in Cork City.
It's a huge thing at the moment, sustainability, circular economy. People are looking to buy secondhand slowly. So we have Secondhand September, which is something that we run in September, where we encourage people to only buy secondhand for the month of September. That's a big focus for us that month. But that's something that people are doing on an ongoing basis. They're choosing only to buy secondhand, not to buy new items, and therefore supporting the circular economy and kind of living more sustainably, helping the environment.
It's all about sustainability as well. We kind of promote sustainability hugely here as well. So
How much?
Oh, very big. Like we're even at the stage now where we're even hand washing. We have a clothesline at the back. If we see something coming in that's really good, or we get it dry cleaned, if it's worth it, we will do it. It just might have a little stain on it.
Claire Kilroy, manager of the St Vincent de Paul run Vincents Charity Shop in Terenure in Dublin.
So we're trying to kind of reduce our waste as much as possible. And then we've also students that come here. I've given them projects to do. I have French students who just finished up. They made and designed items out of plastic bags. So I can show them to you later on as well. So
wow,
one of them
out
of plastic bags.
So the kind of junk couture.
Yeah. And I kind of said, well, someday you never know. Lady Gaga could be wearing this, you know. So some fantastic styles and, you know, students that didn't think that they had that flair. And it's great now. They're going to follow it on. Some of them are going to come back and volunteer for us as well. So it just kind of showed their hidden talent. We also done a course with Liberty Papers, which is a business in Terenure. They gave us a free course for the volunteers, myself and the volunteers, to upcycle plates, old plates that would be thrown out. So we done like a decoupage on the plates. So that was really, really successful. And even myself, I was very chuffed with great success at the end. So yeah, so there's a lot. We do a lot for sustainability here, yeah.
And similar to the Vincent shop in Terenure, countless other charity shops are also playing their part to help the planet. Martina Freeman of the Irish Wheelchair Association shop in Enniscorthy.
We are so into recycling. Irish Wheelchair always has been. Every item that comes through the door, if we can reuse it, recycle it, that's what we do. Even our bin men, they say, your bin is only half full, which is great. Now, our recycling bin is probably full. That's with all the packaging not needed, unwanted. But we'll put out an item for sale. If it doesn't sell, we'll reduce it. If it's still there, we'll put it outside, free to take, rather than put it in our bin to go to landfill. Even broken jewellery, broken crockery. We have a lot of artists in Enniscorthy. We have a lady who will buy our broken jewellery. We've a lady who will buy ceramics, broken plates. She does beautiful frames and stuff like that. So very little will go in our rubbish bin. And even our clothes that come in, the clothes that don't sell or aren't good enough to sell, we recycle those to a company in Northern Ireland, and every item of that clothing, none of it goes to landfill. It's all used. Everything is used.
That's fantastic, brilliant. Now, in this vein, Martina, you have a certain poem, no less, and you were just showing me earlier on. Share this poem with our listeners, please. Penned by yourself.
I just put it together, so I'll give it a go. I thought of little changes that I could make to help, that hole a little smaller to help to save our art. I won't just buy a brand new dress to make me look so grand. I'll support my local charity and buy one second hand. I'll reduce the carbon footprint and still feel like a queen and announce to all my friends, ladies, I am going green. I want to do my little part. You should join me on my way. We could really make a difference with little changes every day. So let's support our charities and help reduce the waste. We can still all look amazing in our bargain dresses rail. A legacy we could leave behind for generations to come. If we all pull together, our planet will have won.
When you buy something from a charity shop, you are part of the solution. There is no question about that.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend for everybody to buy in charity shops because it's great for the planet and sustainability.
You don't have to contribute to fast fashion as much if you shop locally at your charity shop, so I think it's just better in general.
They are serving a purpose for the greenerness of the country as well, or environmentally.
The sustainability is still there, and that's best for the environment, and the environment's one of the most important things at the moment, so we have to really focus on that.
Vintage clothing forms part of the circular economy of reusing and recycling because it promotes the reuse of old styles of clothing. Now, the Vincents Charity Shop in Terenure specialises in vintage clothing. Shop manager Claire Kilroy.
Vintage clothing, we get everything kind of from Victorian clothing to kind of 60s, 70s, up to like even 2000 now is vintage.
Wow.
So I'm told by my children. Yeah.
And what would be if there is, a kind of a typical customer for such vintage clothing?
It's all ages. I have children coming in from 10 years upwards that I love it. They love looking at the clothes and dressing up. They come up here, they try on the items. And then I get maybe fashion students from the colleges in town, Sallynoggin, they come out here, they travel out here, they just love the clothing. We get fashion, the bloggers as well. They come out and they kind of might do a little piece up on their Instagram, Facebook as well. So, and then we get people even my age.
Claire,
20s plus.
Claire, you're definitely not as old as me anyway. I left my Zimmer frame outside. And, but that's... So
all age groups, all age groups.
The world and proverbial moment.
Even women in their 80s come in and they love just buying the little bits and the accessories, the little furry hats. They love the gloves. So there's something here for everyone. Male, female as well. A lot of the lads come in, so... we're open to everybody, and we're trying to keep our prices down as well, because I know a lot of the vintage shops, they can't afford them, students can't afford them, so we do try to keep the prices down and affordable for the students.
The vintage aspect of charity shops is really, first of all, it's sustainable again, and it's ethical.
Charity shop enthusiast Robin, when I recently met her outside the Vincent shop in Terenure.
But also it's really on trend at the moment, that kind of, taking pieces from your parents' wardrobe, finding great finds in charity shops. I think it's something that's really on trend, and a lot of people are really into sustainability at the moment, so finding great pieces in a charity shop is brilliant, I think.
You can find not only kind of trendy pieces, but just timeless vintage items in charity shops.
You get something different as well. It's not just mainstream fashion.
You always find a good vintage find, and you just won't find that. Clothes were so well made, jeans, everything, they're so durable. It's definitely worth looking out for vintage.
It's actually much more fun that rather than buying something that has been mass produced 100,000 times, come into your local charity shop and buy a unique one-off item, upcycle it, give it a bit more love, a bit more attention. These items are now being called pre-loved items, and give them an extra spurt of life and keep a few bob in your pocket for a rainy day.
Staying with the topic of vintage clothing, I recently met two third-level students, Kiwi and Clodagh from Cork, outside the NCBI charity shop on Capel Street in Dublin City. So why do they buy vintage clothing?
It's good for the environment and good for the bank accounts.
Yeah, but absolutely. That's a huge factor in all our minds as well.
Yeah.
And Clodagh, yourself now, you were just telling me earlier on that you got some good bargains.
Yeah,
today.
so I got a dress, a very fancy dress. I've never seen anything like it before. It's 2000 vibes for €14. So
wow.
You can't go wrong with that. I could wear that to a fancy, a ball now or something. So I'm delighted with my purchases. Yeah,
Isn't that good?
You can't go wrong with it. It's just great. Yeah, and I'll never see anybody wearing this dress. You just know you won't, it's such a plus.
Now, Clodagh, give our word picture to our listeners of the beautiful dress that you've just purchased here.
It's brown. It's bandeau. It's it flares out at the bottom. It's tulle. That's the word. Yeah. It's very 2000s vibes. So yeah, it's I like fashion from different eras, so it's great because you can't find it in a clothes shop now on the high street. It's not the same. The quality isn't the same. They're just not made like them anymore. So it's great to get the quality. Yeah, everything's very in the clothes shops. They're very put together now. I like a bit of edge. And you'd always find that in the charity shops, definitely.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, we're here in Dublin and we're outside NCBI shop in Cable Street here. An excellent shop. But you shop in charity shops down in Cork as well, am I right?
Yeah, definitely. We go, I go probably maybe once a week, just checking in. You have to be there early as well to get the bargains, But no, it's great. You have to go consistently though. If you don't, you'll miss out, and you have to go in with an open mind. Yeah. I think you can't go in looking for something because you'll never find it. But if you go in just absolutely looking for nothing, you'll find loads of gems.
Yeah, you have to use your imagination in charity shops. You have to you can see the ugliest piece of clothing, but you have to picture it in a certain way, and it will become the nicest item of clothing you will ever own.
But even as well, I've noticed if it's not in your size, you can always tailor it to be your size. If you have a sewing machine or even just a thread and a needle, you can do anything. So it's great.
Charity shops, you just have to use your creativity, and if you have to go in with an open mind and just use your imagination to the best of your ability.
One person not afraid to use her imagination and think creatively is upcycling enthusiast Laura, whom I recently talked with outside the St Vincent de Paul run Vincents Charity Shop on Merchants Road in Galway City. By the way, upcycling refers to the process of reusing a product by turning it into something new.
I love to buy stuff in charity shop because I love to reuse, find little gems that, someone's trash can be someone else's treasure, and I love to upcycle as well. So reusing things that I find in charity shops, big pieces of fabric or other clothes that they might not be in great condition, I can reuse the fabric to make something new and give it new life.
Wow, that's great. So I'd say kind of in a way, Laura, it's kind of, very satisfying to create something out of items that you get in the shop, and, all of a sudden it's a unique item that you've helped to bring to life.
That's exactly what I do, what I love to do. I love to scavenge charity shops and find a particular piece and upcycle.
And Laura, keeping on this, was there any maybe items that you got in recent times that you were able to upcycle and to kind of give new life to? Please, yeah.
Endless. I have a studio at home full of, velvet fabric, velvet curtains. I particularly love to use curtains because when you find curtains in a charity shop, they're cheap enough and you get loads of fabric.
Wow, that's brilliant! Yeah.
That's why I'm around today. I'm looking for some material to make a waistcoat for a play. I'm working with a friend. She's putting up a play, and she asked me to make some costumes.
And aside from prior speaker Laura, another person who loves upcycling items is Marion Reid, whom I recently bumped into at the Irish Wheelchair Association charity shop in Enniscorthy.
I like preserving stuff and reusing all the time. So I buy fabrics here from curtains, I buy sheets, I buy maybe coats with special buttons on them because they've gone so expensive, and I reuse them in anything I make. So whether it's a Christmas stocking or whether it's a child's little dress, I utilise all the stuff I buy in the charity shops.
That's great. So in other words, sustainable, it's part of the circular economy, they call it,
correct.
That it's helping the planet, and you're also producing, you're creating new items and garments. And now you've got one in your hand there, am I right? Yeah.
A Christmas stocking. And I appliqued the name Jack on it, but the stocking was actually a pair of curtains I bought in this charity shop, and I cut the curtains up because it's a wine colour, it's a Christmas colour, and I just decorated it then with rickrack and other fabrics for the toe, the heel and the top of the stocking.
Fantastic. Wow, really it's nice. Beautiful. Yeah. And there's the name Jack on it.
Jack, yes. Lovely. People give me their children's names and I applique them on.
We're all trying to be that more eco-friendly and green, you know, and thinking of maybe recycling. Like, that's definitely something that's really on everybody's mind at the moment.
It's great to see that it's been recycled, reused and reduced the wastage.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, isn't that what they say?
Yeah, save our environment, definitely.
Charity shops in general, I think, they're a fantastic way to reuse clothes that otherwise would be essentially dumped or just left in a press, a wardrobe.
We need to do what we can locally to try to lessen the impact of fashion on the environment, and supporting your local charity shop is one of the best ways of doing that.
Most charity shops have a paid manager who is assisted by many volunteers and, depending on the shop, various CE or TUS scheme workers. So just how vital are volunteers to a charity shop? Deirdre Power, manager of the Irish Cancer Society shop in Kilkenny City.
We can't open unless we have volunteers here to help us and to do all the preparation that we need to do for the following days. So we're really grateful for everyone who comes in, and we're constantly looking for volunteers. Everybody is welcome.
I have 6 people on schemes, but we do need the volunteers as well. We need everyone, really. It's a whole collective. It's not just me or the volunteers at schemes, it's everyone together.
Fiona Crowell, manager of the Vincents Charity Shop in Athlone Town. Now, to find out more about volunteering, I talk with a volunteer at the Oxfam Charity Shop on Cook Street in Cork City. And here she is to introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Amy Stout here.
And Amy, how long have you been involved in the shop?
I looked it up recently. I've been here 15 months.
15 months. What do you like about it?
I love the atmosphere and like talking to the customers, and it's just a very kind of gentle atmosphere and very collaborative with everyone, and it's lovely to be part of a team.
Right, just good team, esprit de corps, good team spirit, and it's a happening place.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, definitely.
So just how did Amy go about volunteering in an Oxfam shop in the first place?
I looked online and I thought that Oxfam would be the best fit for me, so I came in and spoke to my manager and I said, "Hi, my name's Amy, would I be able to volunteer?" So just to get out the house and volunteer, and it was one of the best things I ever did.
That's brilliant, wow. So really, why one of the best things you ever did, Amy?
I genuinely think because I'm such a shy person, just getting to interact with a lot of people and
here you are now being interviewed on radio and everything.
I'm definitely a shy person, so just kind of getting used to like just talking to people at the till, talking to other volunteers and teamwork, and kind of learning that like it's okay to speak up and it's okay to use my voice when I'm very shy a lot of the time, and people don't seem to notice how shy I am.
But through the charity shop and through, the just a good team and a good atmosphere, a good vibe in the place, that's not an issue, and you're kind of reaching your full potential without getting too philosophical, but that's where it's at.
Exactly. I think when I started, I was the anxiety of just talking to people, I'd be shaking, whereas now I can just have a laugh with people and just have fun, and then it's just a lot more calm. Then I'm well able to kind of do certain tasks now that before I'd be very nervous and very shy about.
Many foreign nationals studying in Ireland volunteer in charity shops in order to improve their language skills and also to gain work experience.
Me, it's Lucy, and me, it's Maëlys, and we are 2 students from France and volunteering at NCBI for 6 weeks.
That being the NCBI charity shop on Capel Street in Dublin City. So do my interviewees experience any difficulties understanding Irish people?
Sometimes it's very hard to understand, but when we...
No, it's better. At the first it was very hard, but...
And what is important is that when we speak to Irish people, quickly understand that we are French. So they say us, "Oh, you are French," and they repeat slowly, so it's easy to understand at the end.
And women, what do you enjoy most about the work yourselves?
It's to meet people and to have some contact with customers.
Yes, I think it's very interesting to work here because we realize that Irish people are really different than French people.
How?
Yes.
They're more kind. They kinder.
Really?
Yes.
And they feel free to speak about everything, you know. Money, religion, politics, and in France we don't speak about that with people that we don't know.
Don't speak about religion or politics. The two issues, divisive issues, but here in Ireland, everyone loves to talk about such things.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, that's Ireland, all right. Yeah. So it's kind of, you're not just learning, it's not just the work. It's, you're learning about new culture, new society, and a lot of new experiences.
Yes, for me it's the first time that I work in a shop, so everything is new, the people, the job. So it's very interesting.
Who am I talking to, please?
Margaret Ballsy.
Now, Margaret, in what capacity are you involved in the Irish Cancer Society charity shop here in Parliament Street in the heart of Kilkenny City?
Well, I volunteer and I put my hand to everything in the shop. I serve, I do inside with the clothes. We tag them and steam them and put out what needing done during the day, and that's sort of my involvement in it, yes.
And how long have you been involved?
About a year.
Right, and why did you get involved?
Well, my husband, first of all, has just over cancer, and he's had it twice. And my sister passed away from cancer 3 years ago. And there's a lot of work involved with my husband at the moment. He has stoma bag and that, so it sort of gets me out of the house 2 mornings a week after I've looked after him all the week. And I enjoy it. A couple of hours a morning, and it's lovely.
So just why does Margaret enjoy the work so much?
I enjoy the company of the people here. You're meeting new people, you're chatting. It's just lovely to come in here. Lovely, and the spirit is lovely in here and the people are lovely.
And I also had the following question to ask Margaret. Would you have any advice to anyone, about maybe volunteering in a charity shop such as the Irish Cancer Society shop here in Kilkenny?
Well, if they have a spare few hours, go for it. Because it's good for them, good for the shop, helping every direction, helping our own mind. I find it good for mind, for myself. Gets me out of the house and I get that bit of time to myself as well.
I would say definitely if you're thinking about volunteering, just do it.
St Vincent de Paul volunteer Caroline, who volunteers in the Vincents Charity Shop on Merchants Road in Galway City. What are the big benefits of volunteering in a shop such as this?
I think if you have spare time, it puts some structure on your day. You'll meet some new people, and there's just a feel-good factor. You're socialising, and you're also doing something. You're giving a little bit back, and you always feel good when you give a little bit back.
Charity shops throughout Ireland create employment for countless people through government-sanctioned CE and TUS schemes, which help to train and upskill participants. Now, I recently met a TUS scheme employee in the Vincents shop in Terenure.
You're talking to Liam.
Now, Liam, we're here in Vincents shop in Terenure. What do you do here?
Well, overall, I'd be doing customer service, or if it came to if we're taking in donations or that, it'd be going through the donations that what can go out onto the shop floor. But yeah, there's quite a few small general things that I'd happen to be doing. It's all pretty good.
And Liam, what do you enjoy most about the work now?
It's actually meeting the people. You just got to meet some really good characters, some lovely people.
Like what kind of people now?
In general, it's just a lot of the people are just really kind. You've a lot of really like our customers that are very funny. Like they do, like some customers would like to come in and while they're buying something, they might like to have a chat, or you come across some really entertaining characters.
And I'd say just good fun and, good banter, and it's not about just making the sale.
No.
The whole social, community side of things as well.
Oh yeah, of course. Like, it's actually it's brilliant. We're just dealing with people where, say, I might wake up the wrong side of the bed in the morning, and I'd come in and I might be talking to my boss, or I'd meet up with a customer and they'd actually make me day. So it's really cool.
That's fantastic, isn't it? It's nice to be able to say that, you can go into the workplace and, you're coming out feeling better.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. Like, it does. Like, it is really good.
And Liam, yourself, you're on a scheme now, is it? Yeah.
I am. Yes, I'm on a 2 scheme. So it's kind of getting people just back into the workplace. So we'd be in doing a 19.5-hour week, and it's it's kind of good for building confidence.
And Liam also had this to say about his job.
The amount of work that we'd be doing for the homeless community around the area, it's brilliant to see, because we would have particular customers that might come in and they might be in need, and the fact that we're able to even just help out a little bit in their day, it's fairly gratifying, just because some of these people might be able to afford to get into a shelter, for example, and by us just being able to provide clothing or any sort of help that we possibly can do, we know that it means a lot to that individual person, but it means a lot to the staff as well.
And staying with the topic of work schemes, here's what TUS employee Rita Galvin had to say about the skills which she's gained from working in the Irish Wheelchair Association charity shop in Enniscorthy.
Communication is one of the skills that I really built up from coming in here, because I was really nervous and didn't know. But I find now that I can talk to people a lot easier, and I like people and I like talking to people and I like listening to their stories, and that's what I really like.
I'd say that's kind of a big part of it, that the day that you don't get in, you don't get to hear the stories, you don't get to, you're interacting and you're hearing,
And they like telling you their stories, and they go out the door, and it was lovely seeing you, now you have to cheer me up for the day. Yeah. That's what they like as well. They like someone to talk back to them. And especially if you help, especially older people, if they come in, they're looking for a specific thing. Would you have that? And I'd go out and I'd help them, and then I'd show them something different and say, oh, yeah, I would have never seen that. Only for you. Thanks very much. You made my day. I'm delighted. So I like that.
That's brilliant. So it's all part of building community and social, and we're all in
and
it together.
And helping everybody. Yeah.
And Rita, in a way, isn't it great to get to share people's stories? And
I love that. I love listening to people.
And even to share the old gripe as well. Or
even
whatever.
If they're giving out about someone or giving out about something in the shop or something, you say, okay. And then they're happy after telling you, I got that off my chest now, I feel better.
I feel better. Thanks a million. I'll be back in tomorrow, same time.
Yeah, no, I like it. I do like it.
What's clear from Rita Galvin's comments is that genuine charity shops are not just about making the sale and increasing profits, but they also act as community hubs where people can reconnect with each other. Marie Houlihan, a retail assistant in the St Vincent de Paul run Vincents Charity Shop on Sean McDermott Street in Dublin City.
It's not about making the sale at all. It's about some people come in just wanting to talk to people. They might be elderly, and it's their little hour out in the day, and we might be the only people they get to talk to during that hour. So we do everything we can to help them. If they need help in the shop, we'll help them. We'll go around and help them and whatever. Some of them don't even want anything. They just come in and have a little chat and go about their business then.
Right, okay, so a lot of people come in for different reasons, but the important thing is when you're behind the counter, detect what the reason is and help the person out in whatever way you can. That's kind of the policy, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
It's more than the shop, and you know, sometimes there might be someone in need on the street, so we'll keep an eye on them, you know, be aware of our neighbours, that kind of thing.
Katie Donoghue of the Dublin Simon Community Charity Shop on Camden Street in Dublin City.
So yeah, it's more, I suppose, part of the community than just a kind of a retail unit.
The charity shops are really important.
It's a community thing, and I think it helps to bring people together like that. That's a very important thing.
It is a community.
It's given people a platform to reconnect with each other.
And another huge benefit of charity shops to society is that all profits from them are ploughed into innumerable essential services and projects which improve the lives of countless people. Here's Dermot McGilloway, National Retail Manager for the Society of the St Vincent de Paul, to explain some of the things which Vincent's charity shops help to fund.
Visitation is what the society is probably best known for, and at the moment we're spending €1 million every week across the 32 counties of Ireland in direct assistance. There's no administration. €1 million every single week, and that's not administration. That is direct provision of help. That's food, fuel, education, and the provision of services. And the type of services that we offer include hostels. We have 10 hostels, although we're now working with the Paul Trust for the running of those. We have 861 social housing units, again across the island of Ireland. We have 4 resource centres, and we have 5 holiday centres. We have a seafarers club here in Dublin. We have a young SVP that basically works with secondary school and university students that want to become involved.
If we get a phone call from someone that, you know, like a Ukrainian family after coming in and they came in with nothing, and could we get together like baby clothes, toys, get things up and running in that.
Margot Hyland of the Vincent's Charity Shop on Sean McDermott Street in Dublin City.
And homeless people, Tulsa often ring us and say we have a family here that needs X, Y, Z. You try and facilitate them. We try and facilitate everybody's needs, like, you know. And then they'd help people not in the shop, upstairs with bills, and Christmas time is food, hampers, ties. It's ongoing all year around, like.
And staying with the topic of essential services made possible by charity shops, here's Deirdre Power, manager of the Irish Cancer Society shop in Kilkenny, to discuss some of what their shop helps to fund.
I suppose the main services would be the cancer nurse line. It's available to people who have been diagnosed with cancer for advice, and that's there, say, I think Monday to Friday. And people can ring up, they can talk to an actual nurse who deals with cancer on a daily basis. And if they have any questions, they can talk to them. They also do a volunteer driver service as well. They provide that. And just so many different services, like content research into it as well. I had a lady, actually a customer of ours, came in and she actually thanked us in here, like, for what we do, because her brother unfortunately had passed away and she had to have some night nurses in for 2 or 3 nights and in with the family and into the house. And she said just the relief for somebody who could take over, who knew what they were doing and were in the house with them, and it just gave them that support for 2 to 3 days, you know, until unfortunately he passed away. But it just gave them the support that they needed at that time, and that wouldn't be possible if we weren't here trying to raise money, or the Irish Cancer Society are fundraising constantly. Every month there's something going on and different things going on, and it is really down to the general public and the community that are supporting us and that are making these things possible.
And another charity shop chain doing sterling work to improve the lives of countless people is the Irish Wheelchair Association. Martina Freeman.
We provide so many services for people with physical disabilities right across the country. We have community centres based around the country. We have assisted living services, independent living. It's just amazing the work Irish Wheelchair do.
The Irish Wheelchair Association operates over 50 centres throughout Ireland. Now, I recently visited one such centre in Clontarf and got talking with staff member Paddy Burke. Here's what he had to say about what a typical day in the centre entails.
Okay, when you look at it from the, say, face value, we have 8 buses that leave here in the morning, go all over Dublin, picking up people who are living at home, and we bring them in. Cup of tea, an activity, a hot meal, an activity after dinner, and then transport home. The main thing within all of that is you're getting people out of the house and get them company. People are just so appreciative of actually coming in, you know. Now, a lot goes on within the day and behind the scenes, you know, but if I had to say one word, it's company, you know.
And camaraderie and community, would I be right?
Absolutely. Like, the 4 walls would kill anybody, you know, and that's nothing to do with disability. That's us all. That's as a human being. The 4 walls will kill you.
No person is an island.
Absolutely not, you know, and loneliness makes you sick. But when you have somebody who's at home, you know, maybe get to see a carer, you might get to see a nurse, don't get to see anybody to have a chat, you know. For instance, today we will have, there's 22 people coming in today, but there's 5 of them who will play Scrabble. Now, this is not a normal game of Scrabble. This is life or death. These 5 people, five ladies play Scrabble, and it's so competitive, you know, and they just live for it. You know, they live for it. So, great place to work in. Great place.
And that's just a small taste of some of the vital services which Irish Wheelchair Association charity shops are making possible. Now, the National Council for the Blind of Ireland, or NCBI, operates over 130 charity shops across the country. Such shops help to fund the work of NCBI. June Tinsley, Head of Communications and Advocacy with NCBI.
We are here to support the 55,000 people who are blind or vision impaired right across the country. And we offer a whole suite of services depending on the individual's needs, whether it is kind of practical advice on how to adapt their home given a sight loss condition, or skills to get out and about safely with using a long cane, or using some of their residual vision, whether it's technology skills and training that they might need. We work with children in the school system to make sure that they get the supports they need. Right through to emotional support. We've the NCBI library, we've employment support, you name it, whatever the need is of someone who has blind or vision impaired, whether from birth or they acquire the sight loss condition later in life. We're here to help them every step of the way to make sure they can live independently and confidently.
And to discover more about the work which NCBI charity shops help to fund, I visited the NCBI's Iona Resource Centre in Drumcondra in Dublin. Iona Resource Centre Manager Maggie Richardson.
We do sessions in-house here, so that could be a technology session, learning about latest assistive technologies. It could be a gym session and gym classes. We're lucky enough to have a specialised personal trainer. We have arts and crafts. We do pottery, great socialisation, seated chair exercise. So very varied based on what individuals wish to achieve. And we also do community-based activities.
Needless to say, it's impossible to cover all the essential services and projects which the charity shop chains dealt with in this documentary help to fund. However, prior commentary makes clear that profits from such charity shops help to improve the quality of life for countless people. Also, it's important to stress that all charity shops mentioned in this documentary are members of the Irish Charity Shop Association, or ICSA, which promotes best practice in the sector. June Tinsley.
The ICSA is the Irish Charity Shop Association. NCBI is a member, as are the vast bulk of other charity shop chains and one-offs. So essentially their mission is to promote the work of the charity shop sector and to promote its best practice and to encourage more people to shop in charity shops. There's also kind of healthy competition between all of us to try and receive one of the ICSA awards that happen every year. So I suppose it's essentially a bit of a governing body to give us all a seal of approval that our stores and our stock and our staff and our practices are all of excellent standard.
So just how can someone ensure that a charity shop is affiliated to the ICSA?
There's a couple of ways they could do it. The ICSA have a number of social media platforms, so they will, if anybody is following ICSA on social media, they'll see content from ourselves and from other charity shops up on those platforms, so that's kind of an endorsement of our practices. And also then there's an ICSA logo on the windows of all the members of ICSA on our shop windows.
All music in this documentary was composed and performed by Cliff Wedgebury from Cork City. Now, over the course of this documentary, we've explored the remarkable world of charity shops in Ireland. Although we visited just a few of the many charity shops across the country, what's clear from our research is that they greatly help people and our planet. Charity shops help Mother Earth by promoting the reuse and recycling of goods, thus keeping resources in use for as long as possible. They also help create employment for countless people, as well as give customers the option of buying quality goods at bargain basement prices. But vitally important, the profits from charity shops, in particular those who are members of the Irish Charity Shop Association, help to fund essential services in communities throughout Ireland and beyond, and so improve people's lives. In a nutshell, charity shops benefit everyone.
I think everybody should be shopping in charity shops.
Everything is good about a charity shop.
It's not only good for the environment, but also it's a bargain, and also it's full of people who want to talk. It's full of character and community, so I love charity shops.
It's just really good value. You can get almost anything inside the charity shop, and it's going to a good cause, it's being reused, help the environment.
Help and save the planet, it benefits absolutely everybody.
The best things I own are from charity shops, 100%.
They're really cheap and you feel good going to them because you know it's going to a good cause.
Everybody is gaining by this, and then the money then does go to a very good cause.
Whether it's Oxfam or Simon or the Cancer Care, any of them, all providing a good service.
Charity shops, they just benefit everybody.
Funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland with the television licence fee.